Hello, good evening, and welcome to MetalTalk TV. This is Paul here, and I have the huge honour of talking to John from Dirty Honey. How are you, John?
I'm good. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Well, here we are, first night of the new UK tour, first headline tour you've done over here, isn't it? How does it feel?
It feels great. We sold out tonight, and we sold out all the UK shows, so sorry you can't come. No. Yeah, it's a great honor.
There's been a real massive buzz about you guys. I remember seeing you in Norwich with Rival Sons, and there were so many Dirty Honey T-shirts in the crowd.
There really was. That was a good show, a good showing. We had that. I think we had that effect in a lot of the cities with Rival Sons. There was a lot of Dirty Honey merch speckled in, so it's a good feeling when you're opening for somebody and you see people already supporting. You know, a lot of times you have to just win them over. Cold, you know. So
yeah,
it was nice to not have to do that as much.
But obviously, with the Dirty Honey tour now, you know, your first chance to headline. So over here, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you've played a lot in Europe. Obviously, you've done an awful lot in the States. You've done some incredible supports. You know, sort of doing the Rival Sun show must have been great. But obviously, you played with Kiss in the States, with Slash, with the Who, with a whole bunch of people. Did you ever imagine when you were starting out you'd get to enjoy this
hang out
lifestyle?
with Paul Stanley? Yeah, I got to have a casual conversation with Paul Stanley. That was cool. No, I mean, you know, we played in bars forever, and basically, you know, we're ignored by everybody as like just a classic rock cover band in a way. So back then, I think it did get to the point where it was hard to imagine for a sec. It waned long enough, and then we just wrote the right song, and then and made a nice recording of it. And so, yeah, now that we're here, it's just it's really challenging and fun to just try to keep making it new and fresh and go as hard as we can. Yeah.
So I remember reading your second show as Dirty Honey was on a pavement at Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, and really that was actually the first show with the four of us. So really that's the first show. I know that they had played with Mark and Justin had already tried out Corey, but I wasn't on that gig. It was like a cover band gig, and I didn't do it for some reason. But yeah, the first four of us was on a street. Yeah, and you just blasted your amps into the street, no PA, or like we brought our PA. It was it's totally homemade.
So when did you think, do you know what, things are really changing for us, that things are really progressing?
I think it was just steadily. It was like we got management, then we opened for Slash, you know, played Aftershock, went to Australia, made the EP, and then it's like, wow, we're on tour, doing clubs like this in the U.S., but like first of three for a band that was kind of waning and like not really selling tickets. So it was kind of like boot camp, but it just kept getting better. And then we did a run with Slash, and then we did a run with Alter Bridge, and that one was really, Alter Bridge was kind of the first sign that we were going to work as a band, because even though we were opening, we made money. You know, so it was like, for you kids out there, it's not all about the money, but I'll tell you what, it helps. And then we did a taster, right after that tour, we did a little taster headline tour, just Southwest, 200 people, and that was all sold out. And then we did our first headline tour right before COVID, February 2020. And that was basically all sold out, and that was about this size. This is a little bit bigger, maybe, but it was 4 to 800 people, and so yeah, it was just this grind of steady, climbing up the ladder, so to speak. But Then COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real kick to the junk. That was tough. But, we were able to make a record during COVID, and we really kind of picked up where we left off when we came back in 21. Another headline tour like this size to kind of get back into it. And then we went out with the Black Crowes. Yeah. And that was really great. So I think by that point we knew, like, okay, we have an audience, and we've got a thing. And we can hit the road, and people want to come share the music, and people want to come for the time, So.
Of course, you were the first unsigned band to top the Billboard Hot 100, weren't you?
Well, I wish it was the Hot 100, but beggars can't be choosers. No, it was the what is it called on Billboard? It's not the rock chart, but it's not the alternative rock. I'm sorry, I'm still jet lagged. Yes, the short answer is yes, but the short answer is yes. It was mainstream rock. Yeah. The first band to ever top that chart without a label, yeah. I think that chart's been around for like 30 years, maybe. 90s, I think, yeah. But that was an honor, yeah, for sure. We just had a real, we had a real nose to the grindstone. We're going to do it however we have to do it. If the right label doesn't make the right offer, we'll just figure out how to do it. And it was a real inspiring kind of spirit around the camp to make it happen. Yeah.
And what intrigues me, considering that you guys are in LA, why go out to Australia for the EP?
Yeah, that's we get that question a lot. The producer is our manager's brother, right. And he has quite an illustrious rock and roll resume as an engineer, mixer, and so it was inviting to work with him. And we had talked to some other producers first, and it just, the deal didn't work right. And he offered a friendlier deal. Basically offered for us to just pay for the record after we made it. So that really helped. And he's great. I mean, he worked on all of the Pearl Jam records, he worked on Evil Empire. He recorded that. Yeah. He did all the Stone Temple Pilots records. Do you have toll laminates? And he just had a lot of experience, and so it made more sense to do that. Yeah. And he had his own studio he worked out. That's mainly why he didn't come to LA. Yeah, that's it. So it just made sense to go there, and it was also nice to get out and get away from the girlfriends and the wives or whatever, and
just sort of focus on the music itself.
Focus on the music, yeah. Just we didn't have a lot of time. I think we were only there 12 days, so.
But yeah, as I said, with the self-titled debut, you recorded it in LA. Now, obviously, you're working on a new album, or is the new album about ready?
It is not about ready, but we haven't recorded anything. Well, we recorded one song, and we're not going to release it quite yet, but it's a riff that I wrote. I'm pretty proud of it. It's a nice aggressive. It's a more aggressive song than we've done, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, loose plans to finish it by the end of the year. I think we're gonna come back here in the summer, hit the festivals. It's good.
So the progression from the EP to the first album to the sophomore album you're writing at the moment, has there been noticeable changes as far as the writing goes and the style?
I think that'll be this record. To me, I think that the EP and the LP are almost one artistic statement. They just happen to not happen at the same time. I think when we were writing the LP, it was a continuation of what we learned how to do on the first record, the EP. And I think it feels and sounds that way. It's very much the same spirit and attitude, The Wire, When I'm Gone, Rolling Sevens, California Dreamin', all, Down the Road, Another Last Time. There's a lot of sister, brother songs that were all honest, creations. I don't think we're ever trying to recreate. So I just think that was one bubble we were in. So I think the next bubble's coming. Yeah, and a lot of the starts and demos we have, everything from, like I say, riff starts or like completed songs that we have that we're planning on recording. Yeah, it's gonna be different. Not too different, but I think for me personally, it's important to have some growth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as excited maybe to just make another LP sounding record. I don't want to alienate anyone, or I'm not nervous to change. I don't, but...
Yeah, you're not going to be doing a jazz funk album just yet.
Yeah, we won't just take the left-hand turn and go all of a sudden have background singers, keyboards, and horns. Although that actually sounds pretty fun, but... Yeah.
Well, I suppose the Black Crows sort of had elements of that, didn't they?
Yeah.
But your own people.
They did that well. I think we'd love to do that, actually. Sometimes that's a budget timing thing. You don't have enough time to. You got to get someone to write the arrangements, and if it's going to be vocals or horns, they got to come in and do it. So. And
the orchestral shows at some point in the future. Yes, that'll be the next plan.
Yeah. I was just watching something like that. It was I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just a friend. And I was like, I don't really I don't know if I love it. Like, I like strings in rock music. I like strings in music.
Yeah.
When it's part of the music. But when it's just like they just add the arrangements aren't really that good. Sorry. They're just holding the whole notes back there, and just kind of, I don't know. But I guess it's a big... The Metallica one was pretty good, I guess.
So, let's see. You were at Download, went down a storm. Are you allowed to... You went down a storm. You went down incredibly well at Download.
Okay.
So, are there any sort of festivals you can reveal you're playing at, or is it all sort of still hush-hush?
I'm actually not in the know. I found out the other day we're playing a festival because I looked at the website, our website. I was like, we've listed one or two, but I don't actually personally. You're unfortunately talking to the wrong guy. I'm not up to date on what's in the works. I think some of the festivals that we played last year, I'm not sure we'd play them this year. Don't they kind of rotate? Yeah. So. Download was great. It'd be fun to play again, but I think it's a whole new lineup. So, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but I know that's the plan, is to hit festivals. Yeah. In the summer, we'll do this headline tour here, and then hit festivals, and we're gonna try to make the recording before the summer festival tour. Yep.
So I know that. So you did a couple of dates before the Rival Sons shows, but that was the first tour of the UK, wasn't it?
Yes.
So how important was it for you guys to break it in the UK, or to go down well in the UK?
I think personally it was very important. We've known who the Rival Sons are for a long time, and I think we saw them in like 2013 at like a tiny club in LA. Not a lot of people came, but we knew from looking online that they were big here back then. So we've always kind of been like, UK would love our stuff. Europe would love what we want to do. Back then it was what we want to do, So it's always been on the radar. So yeah, it's really exciting, and it is important to come here, and it's fucking going the way we thought it would be, man. So, and that, it's a blessing, and like I said, it makes you want to work harder and keep going.
And as you say, so with the whole of the tour sold out now, that must be an incredible feeling. Considering it's your second time over here. It
is, yeah, and we're grateful. and it's can't beat a rock and roll show with too many people in the room. Just enough so no one's comfortable. I love it.
So, other than the day-to-day running of the band, sort of recording or writing and recording the second album, doing the shows, are there any real big ambitions you guys have got you'd love to see? Either sort of playing certain places or playing with certain bands, because I know you've got an incredible, let's say, an incredible list already of people you've played with.
Well, I don't think we're no short of, we have no shortage of big ambitions. But I personally would love to headline bigger and bigger rooms. Headlining's the best for me. I think it's the most rewarding experience. There's nothing like walking out into a full room of people who can't wait for you to play your music. Yeah. That's the best feeling. It's the most rewarding, and that's what you're doing it for. I mean, and it feels the same if it's a club that if it's a bar that only holds 50 but it's full, then it feels great. I think we did that in New Jersey, in Asbury Park. It was one of our first headliners, and it was jammed. It was just a bar, stickers all over the walls, serving beer, but it was full, and it was just like, that was great. So every time we get a chance to do that, I'm excited to do it in the bigger room. All right, let's get to the bigger room, So to me, that's the big deal. I mean, I'm sure, it'd be a dream for Mark to open for Aerosmith or something, I mean, that'd be great, obviously. And it is cool I think this last summer, opening for Guns N' Roses, observing everything from the size, the spectacle, still the fandom they have, as well as seeing the operation, how big that is and how on point it is from minute to minute. I mean, and of course we all know the legend of them. They've overcome a lot of not nailing it from minute to minute. The operation runs tight now, so it was pretty incredible, I think. So for me personally, being a part of that was a real learning experience, and you learn what it's like to run around on a stage on an arena, or I should say rather a soccer stadium. You go 20 feet to the left, you can't hear yourself anymore. So that's kind of the biggest thing for me about doing those shows, is like learning.
Well, if things continue the way they have, I think obviously those headline stadium tours are beckoning for you guys as well.
Yeah, we just gotta do, maybe we're a record or two away, but I think it's all we've ever wanted to do, man. We had to have the posters on the wall as kids, so let's go.
Well, maybe that jazz funk album's going to push you over the edge.
That's the one. I think, the Fusion Odyssey, of all Grateful Dead covers put in 7. Yeah, Spinal Tap. Lick My Love Pumps. The saddest of all keys. It's a great movie. I heard that Rob Reiner said that people came up to him when that movie came out, and they said, that was a really great movie. Why didn't you pick a band that was more well known? So they didn't get the joke. They didn't know. And I was like, whoa. I remember reading an interview with The Edge, and he said that he was actually just sad watching that movie as a young guy, because he was just like, that was just too real. Yeah. It kind of is, actually. Now that we've done what we've done, I've rewatched it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little too real. Like, you don't want to be in their position.
No, I've been backstage with bands, and the whole thing about being sort of lost backstage, trying to find the stage and everything.
Oh yeah. I think I said it today. I said, which way to stage?
And you're going, rock and roll, as you were going.
We're going, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, great movie.
So, well, tonight is going to be a heck of a night, opening the tour. The rest of the tour is going to be amazing for you guys, and looks like the future is incredibly bright for you. So, you've worked hard, you got the material, you got the attitude, the look.
Yeah, man.
May it long continue.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you.
All right, cheers.